Hey, my love. So in this little series, we're talking about authority. And in this video, I'm going to talk about ego authority. Now, in the society in which we grew up, we have all been used to making decisions from our head. And the head brain is here to make meaning, perceive, and understand. It's really good at logic and rationalizing. And it will tell us stories to make everything make sense. And the truth is that we were not designed to make decisions from our head brains. We were designed energetically to make decisions from our bodies. And that will either be center based or process based, but their response or their sensation is different for all of us. And it is energetically in our body. Now, with ego authority, there is a level of conditioning that we need to be aware of, because first of all, we're using the word ego, which gets everybody's knickers in a twist, right? Because we're not supposed to be egoic. And the truth is that your ego is partly your personality, it's partly survival. You know, the ego's job is to keep you alive. And it is also this personality and like who you are, like the core of you. And what I love about human design is the ego center has multiple names. It is the heart center and the will center. Now, when we think about that, it's really, this center is linked to resource, and we need to be resourced. Now, what happens when people hoard resources, and we look at the world, like that is egoic, right? That is about power. Now, it is a power center, and it works in ebbs and flows. And that means that we need to be mindful of whether we really are motivated for something or not. And it means when you have the ego center as your authority, it's really about listening to your will, listening to and following what the heart wants. Now, in multiple brain integration technique, what the science says is that the heart leads, right? That what the heart wants, the heart wants, right? Like there's this understanding in language across generations, years and years, right? That the heart has to be in it, otherwise it won't happen. And there is a beautiful story that one of my teachers told me about a grandfather clock. When you take there's a tiny little pin called the heart pin. If you take it out, it doesn't work. And that is the same for us as human beings, right? Like if our heart is not in it, it's not going to happen. So if you have an ego authority, you get to decide based on what you are motivated for, what you have resource for, what you have the energy for, what gives you a sense of empowerment, what you have this power for, right? And one of the other ways of saying that is be selfish, do what you want to do. Now, we live in a world that has got a lot of stigma around selfishness. And in my world, I talk very much about selfful rather than selfish. And if you are an ego manifester or an ego projector, because it's only those two types that are led by the ego, then there's real wisdom in what it is that you are motivated for. And what will motivate you is working for the collective, because manifestors are leaders and projectors are the new age CEOs, right? Like both of you have this incredible wisdom and knowing about leading us into the next age, into this place where masculine and feminine energies are working together and are co-creating. And you, without knowing it, when you're truly attuned, what is good for you is good for everyone, right? Like what keeps you resourced keeps the resources flowing. And this is a really important piece for you, because some of the main conditioning for you to let go of is, you know, oh, I can't always do what I want, or that would be selfish. So I really want you to check in with, what are you motivated for? What is your heart's desire? Are you following logic or reason or doing what you should do? Are you worried about people pleasing? Are you overdoing it and depleting your resources so that you end up in a state of burnout? Are you caring for others, or caretaking for others when that isn't something that you actually want to be doing? So really check in with that. And if you want to take this further, then you can either book in for a voice or a Zoom session with me, where I'll give you a recording or a little bit more detail, or I can give you an overview of your chart, or you can come and check out the Kismet Codes and come and learn what else you are full of.